One of my best gifts, I think, to my husband was, I hesitate to give you my next one because it is, and look, far be it from me to tell you to gift someone. I did not know this was a thing, but my best friend got me one years and years ago. I promise you it will change your life. Welcome back, friends. Today we're doing a cozy gift guide. This is going to be full of ideas for tea and coffee lovers, cozy home cooks and bakers, cozy crafters, readers, really just anyone who loves a little bit of cozy in their life. These ideas work really well for holidays, Christmas, birthdays, or just treat yourself gifts. I'm sharing things that I personally use and adore. I got a little carried away making this list, so I'm certain you're gonna find lots of good ideas here. Grab yourself a warm drink, I already have mine, and let's dive in. Let's start with the Cozy People 101 essentials, the absolute basics. The very first thing is a soft robe. Something to wear over your clothes when you're making your coffee in the morning or reading your book at night. I am loving this one from Quince, who is today's cozy partner, but we're going to talk a little bit more about them in a bit. I am expecting baby number 3, so you better believe I'm going to be spending a lot of time in this. Up next is a set of comfy pajamas or a lounge set. There is nothing like being able to have a day in with just pajamas or lounge set and feel a little bit put together because you're matching, but it's actually made of bamboo. I love this one from Amazon. It's really simple, really comfortable, and not very expensive. Up next is a good hoodie. If you're anything like me, hoodies always feel too expensive to buy for myself, but I live in it if I ever get one. So this is a really nice thing to gift to your cozy person. You can go with more expensive options or stick to the simple ones. I think either way, they're super cozy. Up next is nice candles. These can be like decorative taper candles or really nice smelling candles for ambiance, depending on who your cozy person is and what they like. Up next, we have a nice set of slippers. I think a lot of people neglect to change out their slippers every so often, and they're so cozy and warm to walk around your house in, so this can be a nice little gift for somebody. And last in this section is a body pillow or a lumbar pillow. There's nothing that is so nice as being able to lean back in your bed or somewhere else with a structured pillow to support you for reading, or for just laying around and getting as comfy as possible. Okay, up next, this category is bath, body, and relaxation. So anyone who loves to have a little pamper session at the end of the day. Before you gift some of these, you're gonna wanna find out if they have a bath. Lots of people don't. So first up is bath salts or magnesium flakes. These can make your bath just a little bit more special. Bonus points if you get a cute glass jar and add a little ribbon and pack it up nice. Up next is face masks. I'm not going to suggest you go crazy with skincare, but one nice face mask can go really far and help you feel pampered. I really love these ones from Dr. Jart. I don't know, there's just something about the jelly I really like. Just trust me on this one, or you just buy whichever one you like. Next is an inflatable bath pillow. I did not know this was a thing, but my best friend got me one years and years ago. I think it was well over 10 years ago, and I have loved it ever since. I still have the very same one. There's just something about being able to actually lay back in the bath and lean on the pillow that adds an extra special touch. Up next is a bath tray. These are really nice. They lay across your bath and you can add a candle or a book, or you can just set up your tablet and watch a movie while you have your bath. Next is nice bar soap. Okay, I'm not talking about the kind of bar soap that comes in the bulk box. I'm talking about the ones that smell really nice and have the gorgeous wrapping paper, and you don't really buy for yourself unless it's a special occasion. those. And finally, if you want to really super spoil your cozy person, get them a spa gift card. This is the type of thing I would never buy for myself, but I think that's why it would make such a wonderful gift. If you're really looking to spoil somebody, you can give them something they would never buy for themselves. Okay, this next category is for anybody who loves cozy hobbies or is maybe just curious to try them out. The first set is just an entire category of kits because there is a whole world of kits out there now. First, we have embroidery, knitting, or crochet kits. If your person wants to learn any of these skills, these beginner kits are actually really nice for learning and super affordable, lots of them on Amazon. I will link a few below. Next is paint by number or diamond or jewel painting kits. These are ones that come with pre-illustrated drawings that have little slots where you can paint specific spots, and it comes out in a beautiful image that you can hang or put around your house, but you didn't have to know how to draw this incredibly complex thing. And finally, book nooks or miniature building kits. These are a little bit more involved time-wise, but they're really good for spending a little bit more time, especially if you have free time in the evenings and you're looking to busy your mind with something creative. These are really, really fun, and they leave you with such a great thing at the end that you can tuck into your bookshelf or just put out on display somewhere. Next is a puzzle and/or a puzzle mat. If you know somebody who already likes puzzles, a nice puzzle mat can be a really nice way to spoil them, because we all know space can really be at a premium, and sometimes we just don't have those things. Next, we have watercolor sets or guides. If you have somebody who wants to maybe try painting and has never done it before, this can be a really good option. There's lots of fun ones. There's lots of different themes, food, witchy watercolor, you name it, you can probably find one. Up next, we have stationery and wax seal stamp sets. If you have somebody who's maybe a little bit more old-fashioned or wants to try something more old-fashioned, I think it's really fun. I have been using wax seals on my letters for probably 2 or 3 decades now, and I think it makes it so much more fun to give and receive letters that are made beautiful in this way. These sets can be really inexpensive, and they're definitely a fun gift to give. Next is hobby or skill classes. This can be sewing, knitting, painting, or something completely different. On record, one of my best gifts, I think, to my husband was a knife making course that he still uses skills from to this day. Next is a Cricut machine. I consider the Cricut like a starting point for aspiring cozy crafters. I love to use it for making cards or menus for the table. I don't love their software, but their machine is wonderful, so I have had it for years and years. And lastly, in this category, we have coloring books and coloring supplies. Coloring books can go anywhere from really simple and seasonal to really beautiful and artistic, just depending on what you're after. Coloring supplies can be anything from regular colored pencils to watercolor colored pencils to really fancy markers, depending on how much you want to spoil your person and what they like. Okay, our next category is, of course, one of our favorites, tea and coffee lover gifts. Up first, we have loose leaf tea. I'm going to link my top 10 below because I cannot possibly list them for you here. I generally just prefer loose leaf tea because the quality tends to be higher and it tastes better. You can gift loose leaf tea in a canister as it comes, or you can divvy it up and make cute little sampler sets for your friends, just depending on what you want to do. If your person is a coffee person instead of a tea person, you can definitely do coffee beans. If you can find a local roaster, that will make it an extra special gift. And these are usually not that much more expensive than the bags you buy at the store. But if you want an affordable option, I really like counterculture coffee beans, and you can just buy those at Target. On the topic of coffee beans, if you really want to spoil your person, consider getting them a burr grinder. Check if they don't have one first. But these can grind up the beans from espresso all the way up to like a coarser French grind, just depending on the coffee they like to drink. I will link the one that I am using right now below. Next, we have a fancy tea scoop. These can make measuring your tea out in the morning feel like a tiny fancy moment, and they are super affordable. Up next is a quality tea strainer. I'll link the simple ones that we've used from Amazon for years below. These are great and they don't let any particles through. Up next we have a teapot. There are so many options out there, but generally speaking, a bone china teapot is going to keep your tea warm the longest, and our go-to is this one right here. I will link it below. Obviously, there are lots of options depending on the type of tea you want to make, so look around. This is just what we like. Next is an electric kettle. There are a million options out there for kettles that will heat up your water fast. Some will brew your tea for you. I have had my Breville for well over 10 years and it is still working like the first day I got it, so I will link mine below. Next is a tea cozy or teapot warmer to keep your tea warm. I personally prefer a teapot warmer like this one because you can put a tea candle in and keep your tea warm for literal hours, but both will do the trick. Up next we have cute sugar cubes or even molds for making sugar cubes. If you're a person who likes to host, this can be a really great option. On the topic of hosting, another great option is a tier tray. These can be 2 or 3 tiers and they're usually used for traditional teas. These can vary from $15 all the way up into the hundreds depending on what you're after, so there's lots of options out there. These make really great gifts for anyone who loves to host a tea party. If you're wanting to really spoil someone in your life who loves tea, get them a gift card to an afternoon tea in the area. Next is a Dutch cookie tin. These are beautiful tins. You can order them from Amazon. They come with these lovely Dutch cookies inside, and then you get to keep the tin and use it for cookies in the future. Up next is fancy flatware. If your person is an avid host, they might really appreciate a beautiful set of flatware with which to serve their guests. Okay, up next we have the category for the bookworm in your life. First things first is Bluetooth headphones. This might be a funny way to start the reading category, but trust me, if your person likes audiobooks, these are crucial. You can wear them while you're doing dishes or working around the house or doing something else and listen to your books at the same time. Next is gel highlighter pens. I found these a few months ago and they are so unusual and strange, but I love them. They do not bleed through the paper, so they're really good if you like to annotate or highlight in your books. Next is audiobooks, either the books themselves or a subscription. Audible in particular does a really great sale in November and December where you get the first 3 months for like $1. I will link some of my favorite audiobooks below. You can also listen on Libby from your library for free. Up next is a fun little travel reading light. These are just fun, I think, for your bookworm. I love having a good reading light. These work really well in bed or if they go on planes or rides fairly often. Up next is bookmarks, but not just any bookmarks. I am loving these magnetic bookmarks. It comes in a big pack, so you can mark a bunch of locations at once. They're super lightweight and they don't fall out of your books. Next is an e-reader. Personally, I'm much more of a physical book reader myself, but an e-reader has its time and place, especially if you're wanting to save on shelf space or your person's wanting to save on shelf space. And lastly, we have books and magazines. Let's not forget our magazines. I will link a few of my favorite books below, as well as a few of my favorite magazines for inspiration. Up next, this category is for those of us who love to make home a sanctuary, and we love to bring the magic every day. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about today's cozy partner, Quince. If you've been around for a little while, you might have noticed I am very selective about partners on this channel. As someone who has my background in supply chain and logistics professionally, I really appreciate Quince's approach. They value quality first, with price coming as a close second. So they use a factory direct model to make sure that everything they source is quality and it's at the best price around. As a mom of almost 3, it really matters to me that the things that I invest in last. And I appreciate that Quince makes that easy. So thank you so much, Quince, for partnering with me on today's video. Let's get into our cozy home gifts. The very first thing is a projector. These tiny little machines are wonderful because you can set up a movie inside, outside, wherever you want and have a special cozy movie night without having to have a TV there. Next is a really nice planner or planner stickers and accessories. Maybe this is just a me thing, but as a homemaker, it's really important to me that I stay organized. Planners can be a really personal thing, so sometimes just a gift card to a certain planner company works really well for people. I hesitate to give you my next one because it is a robot vacuum. And look, far be it from me to tell you to gift someone a vacuum, but the reality is these things can be so handy and they can be so expensive. So if you're wanting to spoil somebody who maybe wants one, this could be a good idea. I know it makes my life as a homemaker a lot easier. Up next, we have beautiful linen tea towels or napkins. These are both things that people tend not to buy for themselves, but especially if they like to host, these can be a really nice cozy gift option. Similarly, a nice tablecloth might be something that people would hesitate to buy for themselves, especially if it's just a seasonal item, so this could be a really great option. One special tip I have for keeping your tablecloths nice is to use a clear tablecloth cover on the day-to-day. I will link mine below. I love it. It's a game changer. I don't have to worry that my tablecloths are going to get stained or ruined or wash them 1,000 times. Up next, we have a serving tray. I love to have trays around the house. I love how cozy this big rattan one feels for setting out some of my favorite decor books. You can also get smaller serving trays. These are really great for carrying coffee and drinks or snacks around the house, and they make really nice gifts too. This next category is for those of us who love to cook and bake. If you or your person love to cook and you do not have a cookbook stand, I promise you it will change your life. I have had mine for over 12 years, so I will link that below. If you're looking for something super simple but elegant, a pretty salt cellar makes a great option. I personally love wooden ones, but there are lots of options out there. Next is a nice set of wooden utensils. If you already have wooden utensils, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you've never tried them before, these quickly become the everyday utensils in the kitchen. They don't hurt your cookware. They're easy to use. So if you are a person who loves to cook, or if you have a cozy person who loves to cook, these are a beautiful gift. Up next is a nice bread knife or chef's knife. If your person does not already have a nice knife set or they need an upgrade, getting a single knife that's really high quality makes a really, really big difference. Okay, these next few items are a bit more niche for our bread baking crowd specifically, so we're gonna blitz through these. First is bannetons and sourdough starting kits. These are great for anyone who is an aspiring sourdough baker and just wants to try it out. Next, we have bowl covers. You can buy these or you can make these. Either way is a good option. These are wonderful for anyone who loves to bake bread. If you really, really, really want to spoil the bread baker in your life, get them a grain mill. A grain mill is an extravagant gift, but it is also a life-changing one. And if milling flour sounds crazy to you, all I will say is that it's actually a lot simpler than you think it is. Along those lines, if your bread baker already has a grain mill, then getting them some wheat berries can be a great option. The last few are a bench knife, a Dutch dough whisk, a bread lame, or Pullman pan. These are all accessories in bread making and they're pretty niche, but I will link them below just in case you need them. Going back to general cooking and baking, up next we have fancy spices. So things like fancy French finishing salts, we can have really fancy Szechuan peppercorns. I will link a couple of my favorites down below. Along those lines, you can also do fancy vanilla or extracts. Whether they're homemade or store-bought, these can make a really special option. Moving on, if you know a baker, odds are that they have a KitchenAid or mixer attachment that they've had their eye on for a long time and have never purchased. If you can find that out and get it for them, that could be a really great option. Next, we have another beautiful option, which is a cookie jar. These can be seasonal or just decorative. I personally love having a seasonal cookie jar around. Up next is a nice cookbook. I personally love cookbooks and it's most of what I use. Pay attention to your person's favorite region or type of cuisine and see what options you can find. There are some really great ones out there right now. Up next is a fermentation jar. These are really great for people who love simple homemade foods or experimenting in the kitchen. So they're great for sauerkraut or fermenting peppers or fermenting plums. There's really no limit and it's super fun. Next is a cheese making kit. If your person has mentioned wanting to try their hand at making cheese, getting them a starter kit is a really great way to help them dive in. Our last category is handmade gifts, because sometimes these are really the best. Up first, we have hot cocoa mix or hot cocoa bombs. If your person really loves a nice hot chocolate, it's super easy to make a decadent mix or make a hot chocolate bomb for their drinks. I know my kids love these and we've done these as gifts in the past. If you're looking for something that's really thoughtful, a homemade tea blend can be just the thing. Think about what your person might need. Do they need help sleeping? Do they need a little bit of emotional support? You can find tea blend recipes online all over the place, and they're really simple to throw together. Up next is pre-made snacks. So these can be things like granola or roasted maple pecans or even a snack mix. I think everyone appreciates a delicious pre-made snack. Next is a cookie mix. If you have a favorite cookie recipe, layering the ingredients in a jar makes a really beautiful gift and it gives somebody an afternoon of making themselves a treat. And who doesn't love that? Next is an infused honey. This feels really personal and fancy, but it actually comes together in just a few minutes and it's a beautiful gift. While we're on the topic of food, a fresh loaf of bread is a beautiful gift that I think almost all of us would appreciate. And finally, in this category, we have a handwritten recipe card. Whether it's a family recipe or a special recipe of your own, this is something that feels incredibly personal and makes a beautiful addition to a basket or something else. That wraps up our categories. If you have a second, leave me a comment below and let me know what ideas inspired you the most. Thank you for being here and happy cozy gifting.
I can feel it in the air. It's getting colder, but yet so warm. Before we know it, it's Christmas Eve.